Jenn Ryan. I'm an athlete in the 35 to 39-year-old division. I'm actually aging up this year for this Open. I turned 40 on New Year's Eve, so I'll be in the 40 to 44-year-old division. Biggest differences for me from being on a team in 17 and 18 and then an individual masters athlete this past year, I would say is just knowing that I control the outcome of everything. That was probably the biggest change. Not that that was a good or a bad thing, but mentally I just had to focus on myself and just know that everything I did, I controlled the outcome of, and everything that happened was on me. But then from a logistics standpoint, I guess, or a competition standpoint, it is a little different. Of course, I didn't get to compete in the Coliseum this year, which the past 2 years in 17 and 18, of course, on a team, we got to compete in the Coliseum, and that, there's just a feeling about running out there and just a sense of pride when they announce you coming out. And it was really cool still running out into the age group qualifiers, auditorium, or whatever it was called, but of course, it was just on a smaller stage, and that's okay, but it was a difference. Let's see, so there wasn't any coverage or live streaming this year of the Masters, which was a little bit different than the past 2 years when I was on a team because it was covered, and also they did cover the Masters, I believe, the past 2 years. So, I mean, it would have been really nice if friends and family and people back home could have watched me, because a lot of them were asking. Actually had a ton of people ask. Everybody from the gym wanted to watch. We have Nunu and I from here in San Diego at Invictus, and then lots of other Invictus athletes and supporters that wanted to see all the Invictus people competing and lots of other ones. So I was a little bit bummed that they didn't get to do that. They didn't get to see it, and so that would have been kind of nice. But to be honest, I think that we're just really blessed to have a spot at the CrossFit Games as Masters, because you have to earn that, and there's not a lot of other sports at that elite level that have a Masters division, and if they do, I mean, I don't know if a lot of people really know about it, and so just the fact that that's there as something for us, it gives us a reason to keep going, and if there wasn't, it would just be like all the other sports. So yeah, they changed up programming this year, but before 2 years ago, they didn't have swimming for the Masters at Games. So we can't really complain about what gets programmed and what doesn't. We can be bummed about it, but I'm sure there were people who were bummed that there wasn't a 1 rep max clean compared to a 2 rep max overhead squat. So, it is what it is with the programming, and I think we're just really blessed that the Games still gives us a chance to compete. How would I feel if they changed up the Masters qualification process from the online qualifiers to having to do it at the sanction events? I think it would make it really interesting. The part about that is you would have to travel, and you don't know if you're going to win just one of them. So that would probably mean for many of the Masters athletes a lot of traveling. And a lot of the Masters group people have families, have jobs, and not that the younger people don't, but they are a little more set in a schedule, and I think that would make it a little more difficult. But the challenges arise with everything, and if you want to do it, again, just with every other part of our life, we have to make it a priority. But it does open the door for different modalities to be tested than they are only able to test in the qualifiers. I mean, I think it would be fun to do as a vacation. I suppose if you're really trying to qualify, that becomes a little bit tough, and financially, Masters athletes are probably not getting the same sponsors that some of these, the younger people are. And because a lot of us have jobs to pay for it ourselves, I suppose. That's such a bad way to say it, but We don't, we don't have as many sponsors or opportunities, and so it does become pretty expensive. And that's a lot of travel and change in people's schedules with their families and with their lives and jobs. In a perfect world, how would I like the season to lay out in the qualification process? It's worked really well for me the past 3 years. I've qualified as a master's athlete, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it for me, I love it. Because it allows me to continue with my life. It allows me to still train hard, stay healthy, and do what I need to do to continue everything else in my life besides just CrossFit. So I think the way that it's laid out again this year is nice. At least they're not doing the qualifiers, in December right after the Open, and it's not going to be right over the holidays. So I think that actually gives the Masters athletes something, because then we can rest and recover even more after the Open, and then gives you a little more time until March for the qualifiers. So I'm fine with the qualification process. I know in the past there's been questions about some people cheating, but they're doing a really good job of that. And I think with cracking it down to the top 10, that if somebody's making it in the top 10 and they don't belong there, And so I don't think that that's an issue. If some people are worried about the online part of it, still some people are still qualifying that don't belong. I don't think that that's an issue anymore. Do I feel like there is a disparity or a difference between how males and females as athletes are looked at? Well, from a body image standpoint, I think maybe no matter what age you are, whether it's the younger women or the masters athletes, the more muscular you look, the more athletic. I think there's still a stigma in the general population where people kind of look at you like you're a little bit different. It could be good or bad, but yeah, I think we're all treated the same in the world of CrossFit in our bubble. There's no difference, I don't think. Maybe in the outside world it's a little bit different, but I don't think within CrossFit, and I'm okay with that for right now, Let's see. So what does being a Masters CrossFit athlete mean for me in my life in general? It just means that I still have a chance to do something different and show younger women, or just anyone in general, that we can still be capable of doing kind of whatever we want to. If you still have hopes of being a kid and playing sports and being an athlete, you can still do it. And your body's kind of capable of anything you want it to be.
Oh, a little harder than I expected. That was like a max effort jump.